by Play Alberta. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $250,000 on Cleopatra 2? From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions, there's never been a better time to sign up. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense. $1,000 games for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in Edmonton Oilers uniform. What a special night. His teammates acted like him in warm-up. They got a nice special event to start it all. Even his son got a mini stick of silver. Very cool event for him. Is that the highlight of the night? No, not for me. It's back-to-back games with shutouts. For both goalies, the Oilers outscore 11-0 their opponents on a Saturday and Sunday night. Welcome to the show, everybody. The show is brought to you by our good friends at Timber House Development. Have you ever considered adding a garden suite or laneway home for aging parents or loved ones? The team at Timber House can design and build the perfect space for your property. With a focus on naturally inspired living, they create warm, thoughtful spaces that enhance the lives of your loved ones and provide an oasis to help them age in place. Visit timberhouse.ca. I'm coming to you live here from my Timber House Developments studio in my office, where it looks quite good, and so does the gentleman inside it. We have Zuby with us. We'll have Brownie join us in a little while. And Rishaug is en route home from the Rogers Place, where the big event extravaganza celebrating Nugent-Hopkins, and the big man did not disappoint with his first goal and game-winning goal for him tonight, Shaggy.
That was a pretty sick way to get the night going for Nugent-Hopkins, for the fans. I thought and forgive me, Struds, I'm doing the best I can with the voice, but it's a bit of a push here. I thought they did a really nice job with the ceremony. I thought the video was great. And then perfect way to start the night off. So, and then a really heartfelt interview after the game, too. I thought he had some really good stuff to say. So, as you would expect from Nugent-Hopkins, the clip that stood out to me was Zach Hyman saying that Nugent-Hopkins might be, one of the most beloved Oilers of all time. Like on a team with McDavid and Draisaitl and like all world superstars, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins might be the one the city, truly takes ownership of and loves the most.
Zuby, the voice of the fan, where does he rank all time I mean, it's hard. Let's take out the players that maybe aren't Hall of Famers, like the Wayne Gretzky's and those guys. That next group, I think he is the most beloved Oiler of all time.
He's going to have a case for, there's a case to be made for it. Absolutely. Especially, I mean, if he plays his whole career here at this level, that even, those guys, obviously, Gretz, Messier, Coffey, Fuhr, you name it, Anderson, any of those guys, tremendous careers, so many accomplishments with this team, but none of them played their entire career here. That's a really special thing too, and it remains to be seen if it happens. But I think if that were the case, if he played for the Oilers his whole career and went out with this career, I think that would be up for grabs, most beloved Oiler of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. What an incredible human. And Rob Brown knows him quite well, does many events with Nugent-Hopkins, so he'll have a lot to weigh in on that. But let's get into it now with the breakdown. This 5-0 win for the Edmonton Oilers over the St. Louis Blues. Brought to you by Canadian Brew House. During every Oilers game day at the Canadian Brew House, enter at any Edmonton and area location for your chance to win Oilers home game tickets. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards. Edmonton-born, Canadian-operated. The first of an 8-game homestand for the Oilers. How nice does that sound for the Edmonton Oilers? They take on teams like the Ducks, trending, the Devils, the Penguins, the Capitals next Saturday. So first of 8 games on the road. But Shagger, I know we're going to get to Nuge, but I have to look at the way they've played defensively the last number of games. The last 6 or 5 games against, they've only had 6 goals against, which now they're on all wins. But that is saying something. When you only allow 6 goals against in 5 games, combination of goaltending, and quite frankly, I think a willingness to defend with more urgency, a little more robustly, to steal my own line.
Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. I think, you know, there's no question they're defending better than they were earlier on this year, but they're getting better goaltending for sure. They're getting really nice performances from guys, kind of whoever is in there. One tiny little misstep from Ingram, but in the big picture, he's been so good. Tristan Jarry comes back from injury and has been really good since returning. So I think you start with a higher level of goaltending, overall commitment to winning from the group and to defending. You know, from the forwards, we're seeing big blocked shots. We're seeing fourth liners with, you know, carrying play in the offensive zone. You know, we're just the kind of things that you see when a team is functioning properly, and a commitment to defending right to the end of the game when goalies are, you know, carrying 1-goal games and shutouts. So just much, much better, buddy.
Really good. Really good. Let's hear from Nugent-Hopkins. We'll get to his 1,000 game, but this is a huge detail. This scoring, not getting scored on enough. And let's hear on Nugent-Hopkins on his thoughts on why the team is defending better right now as we go into the digital sound box.
Yeah, it's kind of shows the strides that we've started to take defensively. It starts from goaltender out, and I think our D are playing outstanding, just the way that they're holding lines and not allowing other teams to get into our zone easy at all. They're standing, and as a forward, we got to be coming back to make that more comfortable for them. But there's still steps that we want to take here to get to another level. But I think as of late, it's a great sign.
That's brought to you by our friends at Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Weiss Johnson is now offering no interest for 24 months to make your purchase easier. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials just for Got Your Back Jingle lovers. And in honor of 2 shuttles back-to-back, let's hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family-owned.
Yeah, that was Nugent-Hopkins on the why they're defending better. And Shagra, I know that people are going to say it's too broad, but their game management is just way better. You know, you're seeing, less just poor play, poor decisions, unscripted kind of ad libs that don't work. They're being way better. Their game management is way better. And yes, they are blocking shots. And yes, I think they're carrying the play more in the offensive zone. But man, do I like what we're seeing here. I mean, 5 goals against in 6 games. That's a far cry from where we were at the beginning of the year. And, you know, at some point you have to kind of start early or start over again. You can't just keep hammering them for all the goals against. But this recent, what I'd call trend, is very, very encouraging for this group.
We must have lost him. I'm calling him back.
Okay.
We'll call him back live. We'll do it live.
I thought he was speechless. He's like, I can't believe it. So listen, this is a really important part for the Oilers to zero in. I think that the fact that they haven't been giving up a ton of goals. Now, yes, St. Louis and Vancouver. Vancouver's just in a really bad spot. I know there was a podcast last night. I wasn't there. Tonight, St. Louis, they're not peppering you with a lot of action. They're in the zone quite a bit, but there's not a ton going on. You know, some of their top players, Jordan Kyrou isn't exactly a world beater like we've seen in the past. They're
you got
struggling.
Me now, buddy?
Oh, there he is. There's Shaw.
There
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, you know what? No, yeah. That was totally my fault, pal. I hit my mute button to cough, and I forgot to turn it back on. What I was saying was that it's been a pretty rugged little stretch of scheduling too. Like, that's not to be overlooked, to play this well defensively through a pile of games in a short stretch. That. You know, that's pretty impressive from the group. Back to back, like to go shutouts in back-to-back games on a Saturday and a Sunday, one on the road, one at home. Like, when was the last time they would have done that as an organization? Back-to-back shutouts on back-to-back days, home and away.
And different goalies too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's really important. And let's go there. Let's talk about the play of Connor Ingram. You look at his style, and the best way I can describe it is he makes the easy save looks easy. Like, it feels like everything that hits him anywhere around his chest, he just swallows that up and he just holds it. There's very, there's fewer rebounds or few rebounds, let's say, and he's really swallowing all those things up. Now, is he seeing the puck better? I do think the Oilers doing a better job of boxing players out than they had early in their season. But man, does he look square, confident, and just sucking it all in like a vacuum there, Shogger.
Yeah, this was not the same as Jari. Like I felt like he had some reasonably difficult saves to make tonight. I thought he had some really good looks. And I don't know, Zuby, you can comment on this too, but like I thought there was some traffic around him. He was fighting through traffic to make some pad saves. He was fighting through traffic, having to track pucks, and like I thought there were a couple of really, really nice saves in this that salvaged it, and even earlier in the game when it was a little bit closer. So I would say degree of difficulty maybe a little bit higher in this game than the one yesterday. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but this wasn't, to me, the same type. Like he had to grind a little bit for this one.
Zuby, your thoughts on the netminder?
Well, yeah, I don't know about comparing the two games per se, but I like that I feel like he's got something this calm but focused. Like it's calm but intense. I feel like he's intense. He's very focused. He's fighting through, he is fighting through traffic. I like the way he sees through traffic. But the big thing with him, and I always defended people who compared to Stu Skinner, who said he doesn't move laterally very well or very fast. I still always felt like it wasn't the movement. It was a reading the play problem. I felt like he was a hair slow reading the play, and Ingram on a power play one-timer, he takes it in the chest because he's already there, because I think he reads the play better. That's the big thing I see from him.
Well, I mean, he's doing really well, obviously, and I think he's been really important. Let's go back in the digital sound box. Zuby, we hear from, I believe it was Knobloch, on what he's seen from Connor Ingram and how it kind of came together this last week.
Yeah, we made the change because we had to. We had to call a goalie up, and we had an injury. That's the only reason why Connor started with us. And he came in, he played well, and he earned more starts, and he got some momentum. And obviously, I'm pretty sure he feels pretty confident about his game, and he feels good about it, or at least he should be. Yeah, now we have Jari coming back, and he's played really well in his return. So, as for Connor, we didn't know what to expect. And, we always knew that he could be a solid NHL goaltender. He proved it in the past, and whether they find that game or not, but he was able to, and he's been really good for us.
And later on, he goes and say he's earned more starts. And Shogger, that to me, that's the clear indication and clear message that there's some belief in this netminder. This isn't a guy that's just up here to play. He's earned more starts. And when I hear that, that's a big, big deal for this goaltender in this three goalie situation.
Yeah, well, I did ask him about kind of the uncertainty a little bit ago about what this might look like and who might come and go and waivers and all that. And he said, about a week ago, they kind of weren't sure what they were going to do. They weren't. But he goes in and plays the way he's played, and it just makes it a no-brainer. And we kind of talked about that after his last start, where it was like, man, there's no way you can send him down now. So regardless of what the waiver situation, regardless of all of those things, at the end of the day, it's got to make sense to the players. And sending that guy down when the Oilers' goaltending has been such a big story, that just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to the players. And so really what happened here is Connor Ingram scrapped and clawed and battled his way and turned a recall into basically a full-time NHL job here. And let's not kid ourselves. Connor Ingram is fighting Tristan Jarry to be the number one goaltender on this team. And it looks like they're going to give him every opportunity. And that is such a good, positive thing for the Edmonton Oilers, Struds.
Yeah, it is, and I, I've been taking a lot of heat online, and then I see it in some in the YouTube stream today. Oh, you guys never wanted to send them down. Yeah, so we're trying to work on asset management. So now they're going to have to work things around because they have three goalies, and there is going to come a time there's going to be a pinch, and they're going to have to sort it out, either a roster player or something.
Well, they're already in a pinch, Struds.
Well, that's fair, and that's fair. So
Kapanen's going to miss some time, and they can't recall anybody.
Yeah. So there it is.
They can't recall anybody is because Pickett's here. So they're going to play 11-7 at least the next 2 games until Draisaitl gets back, if Kapanen can't play. Like, the pinch is already here.
Yeah. So, and that's what we were highlighting, was that when this is what you do, there's outcomes that happen. So just an update on the Kapanen injury post game. Chris Knobloch said it's not as bad as the one before. He wasn't even sure if it's the same one. He doesn't expect it to be long-term. So let's see what happens with that. But so just everyone on the stream or on Twitter keeps coming at us. Oh, you guys said Draisaitl is the best option. We're trying to protect the team assets. That's what we're always looking at. So here we are. Never said he wasn't a good goalie. Said that you're looking at it now. It's tight. So 7D, man. I guess if you're Regula, you'll be happy because you're going in there. But the only thing I heard worse more than 3D or 3 goalies is 7 defensemen, and that's a mess.
Yeah. Wow. Now they're going to have both going on at the same time. I mean, listen, like, that's fair. Like, there were those who were saying they absolutely cannot send Ingram down, and they were saying that a week ago. So for those people, they did end up being right. But I'm here to tell you, the team wasn't sure what they were going to do. I mean, Knobloch said that tonight. And it wasn't until Ingram's probably last couple starts where he really planted that flag firmly down and kind of made it clear that it would be ridiculous to send the guy down. And so good on him. But this was an issue of asset management, and now they're just having to manage those assets in a bit of a different way. You probably want to run some Ingram sound, Struds, and I'm at home. So I'm going to tap out and save my voice, and Brownie is going to tap in. So have a great rest of your show, and we'll chat with you guys soon.
Okay, buddy. Rest up, Shogger. So let's get into Connor Ingram and on what he said the last week has been like. Here he is.
I think that's what it is. It's just been take it day by day. I wasn't here at a camp or anything like that, and I said it this morning, any day you're in the NHL is a good day, no matter where you are, what you're doing. So it's just good to be here. It's good to be a part of it. I mean, this is the mecca of hockey in Western Canada. This is what you watch growing up. This is one of the nicest buildings in the NHL. So just to be a part of it for however long it'll be is something I'll remember for a long time.
So there it is. This is a great story. This is an absolutely great story for the Edmonton Oilers, an important one, and they're going to have to try to figure this out now as they work through it. But having he and Jari and Pickard there, it does complicate things. I've been in a situation with 3 goalies. It makes it really complicated. Zuby, do we have Brownie there yet, buddy?
We do. He's here, and I'm just going to try to get the shot right, but you can start chatting away with him.
Okay, Brownie. We're just talking about Connor Ingram and kind of just his play tonight, and then just kind of the bigger story that the way the Oilers are defending and have defended in recent games. There's only 6 goals against in the last 5 games.
Well, he was fantastic tonight. I mean, the Oilers got back-to-back shutouts, and they've outscored the opposition 11-0. But they also gave up, I think it's 58 shots in those 2 games. So there were things that needed to be cleaned up. Tristan Jarry did it in Vancouver. And again tonight, Connor Ingram did it. I mean, what you love about his game, and he's a guy that, and he talked about it, he's not an athletic goaltender. He's a goaltender that reads the play and it puts himself in a position to front the shooter because he understands where the puck should go. We've seen that over and over, and I think tonight was a great example. There was a 3-on-2, went backdoor to Bukestad. He gets the puck. He's thinking he's got half the net to shoot at, and Ingram's already there fronting him square to the shooter. He's an incredibly intelligent goaltender that knows where the puck should be, where it should go to, who's moving the puck here, there, wherever it may be, and he's already prepared for that. He looks calm. He swallows rebounds, and then when there are rebounds that you can't control, he pushes them in non-dangerous areas. The Mangiapane goal that he scored on Binnington, rebound, that area. Mangiapane jumps on it in the back of the net. We haven't seen that with Ingram in his time. He's very good at controlling his rebound, so he has been excellent. As for big picture with the team, I see this as a two-goalie tandem, and Calvin Pickard is a practice goalie until the Olympic break, and then they make decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I want to save the Nugent-Hopkins conversation, kind of bigger picture. Obviously scored the goal today, but you know him quite well. You do a lot of events with him. You're quite friendly. I think you actually cut his grass. So we'll save that for takeaways, Brownie. But let's get into our let's go storylines brought to you by Play Alberta. If you want access to odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long, Play Alberta has you covered. From major winners every hour to hundreds of popular games and jackpots worth millions to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to join the fun. Download the all-in-one Play Alberta app to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember to use your game sense. And Zuby, I believe you will be doing a victory lap, as they call it, on
Gonna be doing a little dance here. So I had Vasily Podkolzin to score an anytime goal, and I had Connor Ingram to allow 3 or fewer. So definitely felt like Ingram's been in this. He hasn't come close to that in his last few starts. So I was feeling good about him and just looking at the opportunity for Podkolzin on that top line. So we hit on that, and that was a good number, almost 6-1. And I have to say, last night, Schauger left out part, even though we still didn't hit because there was an assist taken away from McDavid on the Podkolzin goal. There was another part of that last night that I actually had the Oilers winning by 2 or more, which they haven't done much of either. And so that was why we had a good number last night too, and we were just a removed assist away from hitting on that one. But I was glad this one came through tonight. Pods with another goal.
And this back-to-back games, he's now up to 12 goals, Brownie, Podkolzin. And this is a player I've been very bullish on. And his just the way he plays, obviously, besides Leon, it's another player. Like, I was sitting there watching my wife. I'm like, he's actually in a better spot than he was when Leon was here. But anyways, 20 goals. I think that 20 goals need to be a realistic target. And you're a goal scorer. I wonder how, I'm sure you did set goals for yourself on how many points and goals you wanted to get, but 12, he's still got a ways to go, and there's going to be some breaks in the season here. But do you like what you're seeing from Podkolzin, kind of just a little bit more cleaner finish this year?
I do, and it's a credit to Podkolzin and the work he puts in. I mean, I'm not around the rink at practice, but everyone talks about he's the first guy on the ice. Last guy off the ice. He's always working on his skills. He has a skills coach that helps him, and it's noticeable. And what he's becoming is more confident. Like, there was a great example tonight where he was at an odd angle, and he's trying going short side top shelf. And he's already scored one earlier this year on that. So, to me, 20 goals doesn't sound like a whole lot when you start thinking of, goal scorers like Hyman or Leon or Connor. But Podkolzin's 20 goals, if he hits it, are 20 even strength goals. He doesn't play power play. 20 even strength goals is a much tougher number to hit. And good on him. He's deserved everything that he's gotten because he's worked for it. And he looked comfortable with McDavid. Again, these are auditions. So, now Chris Knobloch's saying, Podkolzin actually looks really good with McDavid. So when we get everyone back, maybe I can tinker with Leon's line, and maybe Nugent-Hopkins could play on a third line at center. So all of these things that are happening right now, because of injuries, because of guys being out of the lineup, it allows the coaching staff to put things in the back of their mind for later in the season. And Podkolzin's ability to play anywhere in the lineup is certainly a plus.
Got bad news for you, Podsy. Leon's back, and we're going to change the lines. Oh, God. Don't tell me. Yeah, we're taking you off Leon's line, and we're going to put you with McDavid permanently. I'm sorry. What did you say? That's just insane. That's absolutely insane that you can leave one and go to that. Like, that's crazy. That was Storylines, brought to you by Play Alberta. Now let's get into Relentless Player. Brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. Need reliable entry-level staff? UCAN trains Edmonton youth with the skills and confidence to show up ready to work and to grow with your team. Learn more and make a change today at ucan.ca. This one to me is fairly straightforward. I'm going to honor Zachary Hyman. with 17 goals what do I have here? 17 goals in those last 20 games. He had 2 goals tonight. Really, really just everything's going in for him. He had a nice long distance one today, Brownie, which is a one-time I'm sure you probably loved. But to me, he is pushing the pace and he's burying goals like we've seen in the past. And after that significant injury he had last year in the playoffs that may have cost the Oilers the Stanley Cup, I think this is a huge twist and development for this group.
Well, I don't know if it cost the Oilers the Stanley Cup, but it certainly cost Zach Hyman a chance this year of being on the Olympic team. Now, he might still get there because of injuries, but if he would have been healthy at the beginning of the season, playing as he is right now, I think there would have been a no-brainer. He would have been on the Olympic team. Zach Hyman, he just looks so confident right now. Like, with all his playmaking, he's holding on to the puck. He's looking to make passes. He's keeping plays alive. He's tenacious all over the ice. There was 3 different times tonight where the St. Louis Blues had full control of the puck leaving the zone, and Zach Hyman stole the puck and brought it back in, creating second and third opportunities. I'm going to talk about him in Brownie Points a little bit later too, but Zach Hyman is playing as good right now as he ever has with the Edmonton Oilers. And that's saying a lot considering he's had a 50-goal season, and last year in the playoffs before he got hurt, he was leading the NHL in hits. So a healthy Zach Hyman is a difference maker, and we're seeing that over the last 20 games.
Yeah, pretty amazing. I mean, it's so important for them to get him back. You know, now Kapanen out. Sounds like it's not long term, but and Leon out. You know, there's different opportunities, and we'll get to that a little bit later about what this lineup has looked like without Leon Draisaitl in it, and maybe some of the opportunities other players have received in it. Let's take a quick pause. When we come back, takeaways. We'll get Brownie's thoughts on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Big picture, 1,000 games, all with the Edmonton Oilers. Beloved in this city, beloved by his teammates. That's clear. We'll get to that next here on the show. Stay with us.
At Modern Measure, every item of clothing starts from scratch and is designed from the ground up based on both your style preferences and current fashion trends. Their clothing is fully designed to give you the exact look you're looking for down to the smallest details and customization. The Modern team will work with you to make sure that you not only look and feel great, but make the most of your investment. On the ground floor of Edmonton Tower downtown, Modern Measure.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
We are back. Welcome back. And let's get to takeaways brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos is a 100% employee owned. That means the people planning and building the project share in the success. It's how they've stayed strong for over 45 years. If you want to be part of it, apply now at chandos.com/apply. Brownie, 1,000 games for Nugent-Hopkins. He has been an absolute steady and influence in this locker room, on the ice, in the community, and as an Edmonton Oiler. You do a lot of events with him. Maybe speak to who he is and, you know, maybe what he means to this community.
Well, it's funny. First of all, 1,000 games, anyone that's ever played one game in the National Hockey League realizes how incredible a feat that is. And then you throw in the fact that it's all been with the same team. I mean, that makes it extra special. I have been fortunate over the last probably 5-6 years. I've done a number of events with RNH, hosting hot stoves and doing a cystic fibrosis dinner. As great as he is on the ice, and he's a superstar. He's even nicer off the ice. He is just this humble, nice kid that you want to sit and have beers with or sit and chat and have a coffee with because he's just an incredibly nice person. And once you meet him, you start cheering for him to have success in everything he does, because you're like, okay, wow, like there's not an ounce of arrogance, not an ounce of overconfidence in him. He's just a nice person that you feel comfortable hanging with. Like he's just Nuge. And over the last number of years, just getting to meet him, getting to know him, I just have that much more appreciation for what he does on the ice and off the ice and how much he means to this city and this community. He gives back. He's not just a player that comes here at the end of the season, flies back to wherever his summer cottage is, and then comes back in the winter. Yeah. He made a commitment to stay in Edmonton. He took a discount to stay here. He's raising a family here. He is exactly what you want representing your organization, representing your brand. And it was a treat being there tonight to see him recognized for a fantastic hockey accomplishment. And I was glad that he got all the accolades, and then throw in the fact that he scores the game-winning goal in his 1000th game. I think that was just a perfect way to end off a great night for RNH.
Really cool. And let's get back into our Weiss Johnson soundbox here, digital soundbox, and we'll listen to Zach Hyman on 93 and his thoughts on him.
It's pretty special to be a part of guys who you care about, milestones and important days. Like, this is a special day, and you try to make it as special as possible because Nuge, in this situation, it's Nuge, and Nuge means so much to all of us. He's the ultimate teammate, ultimate friend, and you want to make this day special for him and one that he'll never forget because he's earned it. It's not easy playing 1,000 games. First Oiler to ever play 1,000 consecutive is pretty remarkable, given the history of this organization, the amount of unbelievable Hall of Fame players that have come through. And I think you just see how much the fans love him. Like, at the end of the game, you're hearing Nugent-Hopkins chants and Nuge chants, and in my mind, he might be the most beloved Oiler of all time. Like, it's pretty special to commit to this city for, pretty much his entire career. Like, I think he's going to be here for life, and you can ask him that, but it seems like it, and a commitment to this city, and you can see the commitment back. Like, they just truly love him, and what's there not to love?
So, Brownie, I think a lot about Nugent-Hopkins the last couple of days, knowing this was coming, and he's a first overall pick. And I think he's been a really good first overall pick. When he was drafted, though, everyone expected him to be a number one center. He isn't that. But to the Oilers, he's everything else. First line power play, first line penalty kill, first line winger, second line center, second line winger, third line center, third line winger, left side, right side. Like, he does everything except maybe what the intention was when he was drafted, which was to be a number one center. And he's so valuable for this club.
Well, it's funny, though. In a lot of organizations, he would have been a number one center. But when I talk about the fact that this guy's got no ego. So, okay, we got this McDavid kid coming. We're going to push you a little bit further down the lineup. Okay, what do you need me to do? Okay, now we got this Leon Draisaitl kid. We really think that he could be something. Okay, what do you need me to do? Every important situation in a hockey game, RNH is on the ice. If they are down a goal and they pull their goalie, he's on the ice 6-on-5. If they're if they're up a goal and the other team pulls the goalie, he's out on the ice. If they're shorthanded late in the game, he starts the penalty kill. If it's a 5-on-3 power play, he's on it. If it's a 5-on-3 penalty kill, he's on it. He has the trust of the coaching staff to do the right thing at all times. So when I played in Pittsburgh, we had Jaromir Jagr with Kovalev, but I always called the mini MVP of our team was a guy named Stu Barnes because he did everything. I think that's what RNH is. He probably doesn't get the accolades of a McDavid or a Draisaitl, but you don't win big games, big moments without an RNH on your team. He does all the big moment things without any of the ego about it. He just goes out and does his job, and that's why he's appreciated by coaching staff, his teammates, and obviously the entire city.
Incredible Edmonton Oilers. I can't believe there's never been a player to play 1,000 games all in the Oilers jersey. Let's get to crunching numbers, brought to you by McDonald's. $5 McValue meals are here. So no matter when you're craving a deal, we've got you covered. Start your morning with options like a sausage McMuffin small meal, make a midday pit stop for a McDouble small meal, or grab a late night recharge with a junior chicken small meal. So many choices, all only $5 plus tax. Availability varies by restaurant. Let's take a look here at the stats we got from our buddies over at Sport Logic. An interesting story they paint. The Oilers win 5-0 for those of you who just joined us. We got a great stream. Give us a thumbs up if you're along for the ride. Expected goals, the Oilers 3.1. St. Louis 2.1. That's a really good sign for Connor Ingram, right? I mean, he gave up 0, so that means he was well below what the expected goals were. Puck in O zone, 17 minutes for the Oilers, 21 minutes for St. Louis. That tells me something, Brownie, that the Oilers, even though they were in their zone, they weren't giving up a ton of massively good chances. Puck battle win percentage, Oilers 62%. That reflects that the St. Louis had 38% puck battle. So the Oilers are winning more than their share of puck battles. And then turnover scoring chances. This is one I can't get off, guys, because this is game management for you. The Oilers had 14. The Blues only 11. I like to see this number sub 10. So you're at 11. Maybe there's some a little bit of game effects that go into that one later in the game. But that expected goals, I mean, that's pretty impressive by Connor Ingram to be 2+ under what his expected goals were tonight.
Well, you're right, Strud. You think of a couple of the big chances they had. There was one where the Blues were on the power play, and Jake Neighbors made a fantastic play. The Oilers were caught watching the guy in the corner. They got overcommitted to Jake Neighbors. He made a nice play out front to Snuggerud, who was by himself. And Connor Ingram just came out above the blue paint and took all angles away and made it look easy. It wasn't an easy shot or an easy save, but he made it look easy. There were a couple odd man breaks where Ingram comes out, takes the angle away. Austin Bukestad looks up once. He should have half a net to shoot at because he was backdoor one-timer, but Ingram had read the play already. So it wasn't, I mean, no game is ever going to be perfect. Even if you win a game 5-0, there will be mistakes. But that's why you have a goaltender, to clean up any mistakes. In both games, Vancouver and tonight, in the first period, the opposition had opportunities. Both times, the goalies came up with saves when needed and allowed the Oilers to get the lead. And the Oilers are a very good team with the lead because the opposition chasing has to cheat, and the Oilers take advantage of it. So Connor Ingram, again, another excellent night by him.
Really good. Really good. And that's a big one. That's a big one for this franchise, this organization, having multiple goalies feeling good about themselves. Are you close to home, Brownie and Zuby? Is he going in, or are we keeping on the phone, or what are we doing here?
I'm sitting in my driveway. I'm about to hang up on you and go on in and get on computer.
Okay, so just as a heads up, because we are having an issue tonight, Brownie, there's a chance you might have to come back in on the phone, but at least you'll be in the comfort of your office. We'll all be able to picture you with the Prince of Wales All-Star jersey on the back wall. Try coming in. If it says waiting for host for, longer than 20, 30 seconds, you can just call me back.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Sounds good. Okay, Brownie. So while we're doing that, Zuby, let's get right to our YouTube poll tonight. You got a real banger.
Yes.
Brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. It's a new year, which means it's time for a new you. Make more birdies on the course in 2026 with the help of Scotty and TJ at DeBoer's. Schedule your fitting time today. Visit DeBoer'sGolf.com or go chat with the team in the shop about your golf goals for 2026. What do you got for us, Zoobs?
Okay, and I'm going to tell you, I believe there's going to be controversy right off the bat of even a really clear answer that's not available to be. Okay. But people can, of course, put that in the chat. So Blommer and I were in the Discord watching the game, and I can't even remember how this started, but we got to Kevin Costner sports movies. So this is the question tonight. What is the best Kevin Costner sports movies? But the problem is there's 5 really obvious choices. 3 of them are baseball, so that's how we had to make the cut. 1 baseball movie had to go. So these are the choices we're actually giving you. We got Bull Durham, we got Field of Dreams, we got Tin Cup, and we got Draft Day, which means that the very popular For Love of the Game is not represented here, which is a great movie. And I said that movie gets extra points for the John C. Reilly involvement of the lovable lunkhead catcher. Is so great. But that's right. I made a Bo Callahan reference on the from Draft Day. I made a Bo Callahan reference in the Discord, and that's how it started. But man, think about what a resume. That is an unprecedented sports movie resume for an actor. Nobody could touch that.
That's amazing. You know what? I've never really considered how many great sports movies he's done. You know, and I love all those movies. Like I love every single one that you just took or talked about. So that's pretty impressive, actually. On draft day is it's a great show. I mean, I don't know if it happens like that in real life, although it may have happened like that for the Giants and John Harbaugh. Hey-o. But pretty crazy that's, so get over onto YouTube, launch in there. I can see the stream is already on fire.
Yeah.
With a lot of people are very fired up about what's going on. But great shows, great question. Thanks to you and the Blominator for that. Before we go to break, let's get to a scoreboard, Zuby, if that works for you. Brought to you by The Bridge Fit. Whether you're aiming to stay pain-free or hit a new personal best as part of your 2026 resolutions, the physios, chiros, massage therapists, and strength coaches at The Bridge are here to help. Treating the communities of Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, and at St. Albert. Check them out or book your first session at www.thebridge.fit. Light slate of games in the NHL. We'll start with the Senators. They lose to the mighty Red Wings. In this one, both coaches will be happy that there was 4 total power play goals. So both teams gave up 2 in this one, which is an idea. DeBrincat had a goal and assist for Detroit, and Batherson had a goal and assist for the Senators. So it is a overtime loss for the Sens against the Red Wings. They only get 22 shots. The Sens do. Tampa Bay takes care of the Tampa Bay takes care of the Stars 4-1. Pontus Holmberg got his 8th of the year into an empty net, but Brandon Hagel got his 23rd. Ironically, the Dallas Stars scored first pretty early in the game, but they weren't able to hold that lead, and they go through it. So with the light night, let's just take a quick look at the standings here as we take a look at the Edmonton Oilers. They are currently second place in the Pacific Division. They've played 50 games, 58 points. Winners of the last 2 games in a row. Vegas, 47 games, 60 points. Vegas has won 7 in a row. They're heating up. And I'll update you on what they added to their lineup later in a trade from the Flames. The Kraken, 47 games, 51 points. So those are fairly comfortably sitting in second place with a very favorable 7 more games at home in a row against not exactly a murderer's row. Okay, Zuby, let's take a quick pause. When we come back, we'll get into Struddy's World, core adjustments, and of course, we'll start with our man and Brownie Points. Right back at you, everybody. See you in a second.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
That music means only one thing. Everyone's third favorite segment on the whole podcast, Brownie Points, brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Get 10 years of built-in confidence at your Alberta Ram dealer with Canada's best full-size truck limited powertrain warranty. Every new 2026 Ram truck comes with a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer warranty. See a Ram dealer today. Brownie, take us away, big guy.
Well, I'm going to start with 10 brownie points to the Oilers' number 93, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who played in his 1,000th game for the Oilers tonight. He is a fan favorite for what he does both on and off the ice. It is an absolutely incredible feat to play in 1,000 NHL games, and even more special to do it all with one team. And to add to the excitement of the 1,000th game, RNH tonight became just the 10th player in NHL history to score in his first game and also in his 1,000th game as he got the game-winning goal tonight. I got 11 brownie points for the Oilers' depth players over the last 2 games. In the last 6 periods, the Oilers have scored 11 goals, and Leon, because he's not playing, and Connor have combined for only 3 assists on those last 11 goals. The Oilers have won back-to-back blowouts with depth scoring. I got 8 brownie points to the Oilers goalie, Connor Ingram, who gave the Oilers his 8th quality start, 9 outings. For the 8th time, Ingram posted a better than a .900 save percentage, and this also was his 8th NHL shutout. Connor Ingram is not only pushing to be the Oilers' backup goaltender, he is pushing to be their starter with the way he has played. I got 4 brownie points to the Oilers' 4th line that have contributed again for goals now in back-to-back games. When you play 4th line, you have to understand that you play simple, straight line hockey. And on the Mangiapane goal tonight, both Lazar and Mangiapane won a battle in the corner and then attacked the net. When your line understands your role, you can have success. Both Lazar and Mangiapane knew the puck was going to go to the net when Lazar got it. He went to the net with the puck. Mangiapane went to the net with his stick on the ice, and the Edmonton Oilers scored a big goal, the 2nd goal in the game, with their 4th line. And finally, just touching on what we were just talking about, but I got 17 brownie points to the Oilers' Zach Hyman, who continues his scoring spree with his 17th goal in his last 20 games. No player in the NHL has scored more goals in the last 20 games than Zach Hyman. And maybe, just maybe, this may give Team Canada pause when it comes to filling Braden Point's spot on the Olympic team here in a couple of weeks' time. And those, my friends, are tonight's brownie points.
Great list, Brownie. And I love that you brought up the depth scoring because that's where I wanted to go with you here. Leon, let's just call it 25 minutes to make it easy. That's power play. That's some penalty kill, not a lot. That is a ton of minutes coming out of penalty kills. That's a ton of minutes starting games. Sometimes doubling up with Connor. So those minutes are getting spread around the lineup. And it's funny, all of a sudden, no one wishes for anyone to be out of the lineup. But when you get the opportunity, I'll eat some of those minutes up. I'll take 4 or 5 minutes of those. And it feels like the team looks like they've got a lot of jump right now, including last night's game with these extra minutes that are being spread around. Some guys are being lifted up, a minute or 2, 3 minutes more. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sitting on the bench, it adds up.
Well, it's funny. I've had buddies and we've talked about it, and we've had phone calls on Shed not just this instant with Leon being gone, or with last year when Connor was out with injury, or Leon's out with an injury, and you have people say, "Oh God, that dressing room must be just dying right now, knowing that Connor's not playing, knowing that Leon's not playing." And the players in the dressing room know that the team is better with Connor in the lineup. They know it's better with Leon in the lineup. But every one of those players in that dressing room is a proud player that feels that they can contribute. And not that they're excited when one of them is not in the lineup, but when the game plays, they're excited for the extra minutes they're going to get. And they know that all of a sudden a face-off where Connor's or Leon's line would be jumping on the ice, well, it's not Leon's line, it's a different line. Or that face-off that Leon was going to be taking in the defensive zone, well, now it's somebody else taking it. Or there's now Wallman's on the power play, or someone else is on 4-on-4. There's the depth players that are scoring. There's a reason the depth players have been there the last 2 games, because there's not 8 minutes between shifts. There's not, we're just waiting, we'll get the 4th line out when there's a face-off in the neutral zone. They're rolling lines because they've only got the 1 line with Connor on it. Now the other 3 lines are going to continue to be out there. And as you just said right there, with the shifts sitting there, 3 minutes is a lot. That's 1 shift more a period. So that's now, I'm not waiting 7.5 minutes between shifts. Now it's only 5 minutes. And you feel better about your game. The more you play, and every player will tell you that. Doesn't matter if it's the star playing 25 minutes or the guy playing 5. Every player will tell you, the more you play me, the more I feel part of the game, the more my legs are going, my brain is more focused, and I will play better. And it's just, the example is right there now for everyone to see. Trent Frederick's a better player because you're seeing him more. Mangiapane's a better player because you're seeing him more. The 2nd line, the 3rd line, the 4th line. The Oilers' depth players are better than the production has been earlier in the season, because they're getting some ice time now. Now, is this team better when Leon's in the lineup? Yes. 100% yes. But these depth players, when given opportunities, are capable of showing what they can do. We saw this Struds last year at the end of the season when both Connor and Leon were out, and how well those depth players went going into the playoffs, feeling good about themselves. You're getting that same example right now in the last 6 periods because Leon's 25 minutes has been dispersed amongst a bunch of other players.
Yeah, really well said. Really well said. And I think again, no one wishes for that to happen, but you're going to take advantage of minutes when you're giving them. No, I'm good. I'll just sit here. Give them to someone else. No, I'll take them. I want to get out there and I want to get playing. And that leads us into core adjustments, brought to you by HSE Core Services. Need a safety program? They build it. Need it managed? They do it. Stuck dealing with those online safety registries your clients make you sign up for? Yep, they handle those as well. And yes, they also do core audits. Visit www.hsecor.com. That's hsecor.com for more info. Talking about those extra minutes, I was really interested to see Jake Wallman on the power play. And he can skate. He's agile. He moves around. And Brown, I don't know if you noticed so much on the power play, he slides, or he's beginning to slide more often, I feel like, into the shooting spot of Leon Draisaitl, which is to the left of the netminder, and he's stabbing pigeons in the rafters as he waits for a one-timer to come across to him.
Well, it was so funny. There was one play on the power play tonight. He understands what his role is on the power play. And again, he's excited. You get a chance to play on the power play with Connor and Hyman and Nuge and Boosh, you're excited. But there's one where McDavid made his plays where he stick handles through 4 people, and then he throws back exactly where Leon usually is, and tonight it was Wallman, and Wallman with the big one-timer and completely whiffed on the pass. It's like it's not as easy as it looks. Leon makes it look easy. It's not that easy, and Wallman whiffed on it, and you know that he was waiting. He probably has been dreaming of that for the last 48 hours, because I'm going to get one of those plays. I'm going to put the puck in the net. And then he doesn't get he doesn't finish on the shot. But what I was surprised about Wallman tonight, he ended up getting a breakaway in this game. The speed, he went flying. Like when he started, he was, neck and neck with one of the St. Louis Blues. By the time they got to the top of the circles, he had put about 15 feet between him and the Blues player and got a great chance. Bennington made a nice save on that one. So he's looking more and more confident as he comes back from an injury.
Yeah, and he looks like he's moving really well. Like he looks quick. Just a final point on that one-timer. I didn't score a lot of one-time goals, which may surprise some of you. But, when I would get the odd opportunity in practice to shoot a one-timer from the blue line, I was like, okay, I know where to put it. But now you slide me down to the top of the circle. It felt like I was shooting from another planet. Like it feels so different. Like the angle, everything's different. So for Wallman, who does have a really good shot, he had 2 one-timers today off of the same shot. Huge rebound by Binnington. He comes in and drops it hard. The second one and tries to go upstairs. But it's a different place to shoot from, Brownie. Like I mean, you scored from all over the place. Am I wrong in thinking that if you're used to shooting from point A on the blue line to now move down really close to the goalie on the left, is that a different feel?
Oh, it is, because you have to change your whole body positioning. Everything changes in it. If you have access to a rink, if you're listening, you have access to a rink, put 15 pucks from the blue line all the way down, about 10 feet from the boards, and just go shoot each one. As you get further and further down, closer to the goal line, just how small the net just becomes. It gets smaller and smaller because your angle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So that is something you have to practice. Just because you can take a one-timer, take a shot, doesn't mean you're capable of hitting that small an angle as you go further and further closer to the net. So yes, you've got to change. Everything changes. How you line up to get the pass, how you turn towards the net, where you make contact with the puck. We are spoiled here in Edmonton because we see our Leon Draisaitl do it, and it looks so easy. But if you watch every team that comes to town, nobody stands where Leon does. Nobody, because it's hard to make that shot. So Wallman tonight found that out. But it was just kind of funny because the exact same spot Leon makes it look easy from, Wallman missed the puck and a lost opportunity.
Should we mention the Oilers' power play went 1 for 3 tonight without Leon Draisaitl? Again, they're better within the lineup, but they're able to keep it up. Keep their average, I think, is right around there, if not there. So that's pretty impressive for them. Okay, that was core adjustments. Let's bring on Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Hit it. When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good. All right. Struddy's World is brought to you by our old buddies over there at DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products, offering premium materials for fences and decks, designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, fading, or deteriorating. Whether you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle the project yourself, they have the resources and expertise to help. Canadian owned and operated with locations in Calgary and Edmonton. Visit dlrvinylproducts.ca. Hit it, Struddy. Okay, I will. Everyone's sharing Nugent-Hopkins stories, so I've got one as well. My last year was Nugent-Hopkins, was Hall and Eberle's first year. We didn't do that well that year, although I played well, and we ended up getting the first overall pick, which was Nugent-Hopkins. So I didn't have a contract that year, and it didn't feel right to try to keep playing or stop. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So anyways, I kept skating with the Oilers. They invite me out, and I'd come and skate with them in the summer, especially towards the end of the summer. I remember sitting down one day. I walk in there, and I didn't want to go. I had this sick feeling in my stomach. At the time, I didn't know that I wanted to quit playing, but I was like, it's whatever. I'll just keep playing. And I sat down beside Nugent-Hopkins, who I believe was 18 at the time. And here's this kid that was so excited to be there. And I was like, I'd rather be anywhere else on the planet than in this room. And so I sit there and I know who he is. So I'm like, hey, Ryan, Jason Strudwick, local legend, how are you? And he's like, yeah, whatever, it's nice to meet you. And I'm like, congrats, whatever. And so we went out to skate that day. And I don't think, Brownie, I went back and skated ever again. I think I was done. I did go to play in Europe after that. I think I skated, I don't even know, I probably skated by myself or whatever. I don't know exactly how, but I don't think I went back to those skates because I didn't want to go. But it was so interesting that he and I were sharing the exact opposite experience at the same time, that he was like, I can't believe I'm here. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm here either, but I don't want to be here. Right. So anyways, he was a super nice guy at that point, and I've got to him a bit, but he's 1,000 games deep. That guy can continue rolling. He's skating well. He's moving well. Still, he's actually been quite healthy over his career. So he could probably stretch this out for sure through the end of this contract.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he doesn't look like he's lost a step. He just continues to be impressive in any type of role he's put in. And what I love about Nugent-Hopkins is he's also very good at gamesmanship. Like every once in a while, if the team needs to go out and throw a big hit, or he'll block a shot, or as we've seen, he'll drop the gloves and fight. He's actually quite a good fighter. You don't want him fighting, but he's capable of doing it. It's an impressive career, and he will, when it's all said and done, he may go down as one of the most popular, if not the most popular Edmonton Oiler in the history of this franchise. And it's not just for everything he does on the ice. Again, it's what he does in the community. I don't know of many players that give more back to the community than RNH does. And I think that is something that should be applauded as much as what he does on the ice.
Struddy, did his do we have Nuge to blame? This could bring his popularity down a bit. Do we have Nuge to blame for you deciding it was his enthusiasm such a distant from what you were feeling that it pushed you further that way?
No, I think, I don't want to steal his thunder on his night, right? And say he ruined my career. But I think that it really did strike me how we were having different experience. At least I think that's the experience he was having. I know I did when I was young, and my experience was definitely, I don't really want to be here at all. And, and then looking back, I should have known it was time to quit, but you kind of think you can keep playing, and you're like, everyone goes through it, Brownie. You probably went through it too. Like, I got one more year, then you're like, actually, I don't even really enjoy this anymore. Which you're lucky if you can get there, because most guys can. I don't want to take that for granted or be grumpy, but it is eventually you do have that feeling.
Well, it's funny, Strud. I know this is about Nugent-Hopkins, but the same day, I knew when it was time to leave. And it was, I just had my kids. I was finishing the year in my career in the minors, and I was in Chicago, which is an incredible city. It is one of the best franchises, like pro franchises ever. The owner treated us like gold. But it was just like we're going on a road trip, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to. And it's just one of those things where you're like, you just know. It's like, yeah, this is the end. I know it is. And again, a lot of young players in the minors. And I mean, I had a wife with twins, and there's guys that I'm playing with that have girlfriends that are still in high school. So I'm like, okay, their excitement, I just don't have the same. And it was the same thing. I did not want to go to the rink unless I was fully committed, because it wasn't fair to those young players that were realizing their dream. And it was just like, you know what? It's time to be done. And I finished at the exact right time for me. It was kind of cool being able to say, I'm done, not have someone tell me for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone goes through it. Even Wayne Gretzky, even Connor McDavid. And I'm not saying it's soon, but he's going to have to. Mario Lemieux, Guy Lafleur, Jean Beliveau, all the greatest players, all stop playing. And I'm always interested to hear how guys knew. And I find it fascinating. Okay, Brownie, do you want to stick around for one? Should we take a lap with Brownie and then we'll cut him loose? Zoobs,
Yeah,
or what do you think?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because I want to hear your thoughts on the trade today. So let's get to Take a Lap, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, your multi-brand motorsports dealer serving Edmonton for over 55 years, offering a wide selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-side, snow bikes, e-bikes, and snowmobiles for the industry-leading brands. Check them out online at www.riversidemotorsports.com. Again, that's Motorsports. Okay, let's get to the trade today. So the trade was Calgary finally unloading Rasmus Andersson. He's obviously a very talented defenseman. Just going to hurt them. I'm guessing they'll bring them down. They get a couple pretty decent players back in Whitehead from Vegas. Obviously, he got traded to Vegas. A first round in 27 and a second rounder in 28 that could become a first rounder in 28 if the Flames win, or if the Vegas wins a cup. Then they got another player that's a seventh rounder in the past, and he's currently playing in college. I'm not sure that was the deal breaker for the Flames to bring that guy in, but essentially got a good defenseman at White Cloud, a first, a second, and then a player currently playing in college, Brownie. And I think I've been saying without Pietrangelo, they are not the same team. They're just, Pietrangelo was such an important part of this group. Yes, he was aging. Yes, he was had injured, but he was a really important. I'm not sure Rasmus Andersson is good as Pietrangelo, but he's a lot better than some of the things they had. And I like this pickup for Vegas. Bad news for Oilers fans.
Well, it's funny when they started talking this week that it looked like Andersson would be dealt sooner rather than later. On Chad, we're saying if you're an Oilers fan, hope he goes east. You do not want to see him going to a Colorado, a Dallas, a Minnesota, or a Vegas, the four main competitors for the Edmonton Oilers. And he's going to make Vegas better. They are, I mean, and the thing about Andersson, he's having a great year. He's got over 40 points. He's got 10 goals. He plays 24 minutes a night. He doesn't have to be the guy in Vegas like he was in Calgary. He'll be on their second pairing probably. You got Shea Theodore as your number one guy there. They got Hanifin. They have a really solid defense now with Andersson there. They are a better hockey club. As for the Calgary Flames, I know nothing about the college kid that was traded. They get a first rounder and possibly another first rounder if Vegas wins the Stanley Cup. In Vegas at that point, I'll say absolutely it was well worth it. Yeah. Vegas first rounder is more or less an early second round pick. I mean, it'll be late, so it's not as though you're giving up superstars. These are players in the future. And this is kind of funny. If the Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup, this would end up being 2 first round picks. The Calgary Flames already own Vegas's other first round pick for the Hanifin trade from last year.
Yeah, right.
So they could actually have 3 Vegas Golden Knight first round picks in a row if Vegas was going to win the Stanley Cup. But I don't know. The Calgary Flames are in full rebuild. Rasmus Andersson forced their hand. I mean, last year they talked about the fact that Andersson wanted to go to Vegas. He's going to re-sign there. That's why it's going to turn out to be a really good trade for Vegas, because they're going to sign him long term. And that just solidifies what this team is going to be for a number of years with Marner and Eichel and Stone and Theodore and Hannafin and Anderson. They're good. They got better. Are they as good as the Edmonton Oilers now? I don't know. But they are a better team today because of Rasmus Anderson than they were yesterday with Zach Whitecloud.
And I like what you said about the Flames. I mean, Whitecloud, he's a good D-man. I think he's a good D-man. You know, they get some more picks. What does this mean for Nazem Kadri now? That's what I'm interested in. They were hesitant. The ownership quite a while ago before Christmas said they're hesitant to move on from him. And I get it. He's a good player. But when their team is cresting or heading in the right direction, especially into that new building ground, I have a hard time envisioning Nazem Kadri still being at the top of his power. So, it might be time to go. Blake Coleman's another guy.
They got to trade him Struds. Yeah, they got to get rid of him now. Well, you can get more for him. I mean, the sooner you trade him, the more years. And again, just like Anderson will make Vegas better, whoever gets Kadri, I mean, this guy's won a Stanley Cup. He will make any team better. So Nazem Kadri, that's something to keep an eye on for the remainder of the year.
And there's teams looking for second line centers. And should be mentioned also, Calgary retains some salary on the deal with Vegas. So that probably helped them sweeten the pot as well. Let's move on just to one more here. The Sharks have placed veteran defenseman Nick Leddy on waivers. So he's older, 34, hasn't played a lot this year, only 4 assists in 20 games or so. Last year, a 4-year, $60 million contract. Nick Leddy's, he's got over 1,000 games. His best years are behind him. At $4 million, that's a fairly hefty price tag for a gentleman who's playing like a 6'7" defenseman. So I think it's unlikely he's picked up. Could he, could you maybe trade for him and keep 50%? But even at $2 million, that feels a little pricey for a rental defenseman. So not sure where this goes for Nick Leddy in the longer term, but I think in the short term, he'll be placed through waivers for sure, Brownie.
Yeah, and Nick Leddy 5-6 years ago, you want Nick Leddy on your team.
Yeah,
he was a very effective defenseman. But if he's being sat out in a healthy scratch in San Jose, and I wouldn't consider San Jose's D core to be star laden. Right. So if he can't make that D core, then unfortunately for Nick Leddy, he is near the end of his road. Maybe like when you and I knew what the end of the road was like. Yeah. I think Nick Leddy's looking in the mirror now and seeing that he's on the 18th hole of his career as well. It's too bad. I remember when he was in Detroit, he was a really, really effective defenseman. Always a really good skater.
Yeah, moved well, over 1,000 games. That's a hell of a career. Probably made a few pesos along the way, so he'll be able to live comfortably when he's done. That was Take a Lap, everybody, and that means that is Brownie's last lap. We're going to let him go. He's been under the weather as well. We've got to get these guys healthy for the big push into the Olympics. So, Brownie, thanks for this tonight, buddy. We'll check out. I think we have another one Tuesday when the Oilers are with the Devils, I believe. Tuesday night.
That is right.
And hey, before hold on, Brownie. Before we cut you loose, I think I want you to weigh in on the poll question. I also think this most beloved Oiler of all time. This has got to be a future poll question, I think, but it has to be massaged. There's a lot of nuance to that, how it's worded, and who the 4 choices are. And I think Nuge would definitely make that list. So people on the stream are going to get back to that. But Brownie, I want you to weigh in on the poll question we went with tonight, which is pop culture and completely random. It was, what's the best Kevin Costner sports movie? And the choices were, and I'm surprised by the way that it's skewing as well. So I wanted you to weigh in. The choices were Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, Tin Cup, or Draft Day. Where do you land on? And there's one more, and maybe you'll have a write-in vote, Brownie. But what's your favorite?
No, Bull Durham, and it's not even close.
Oh, bold statement. Like it. All right, we'll get over there on YouTube and vote, people. All good options for sure.
All right, thanks, Brownie.
All right, night, guys.
See you, buddy. That was the great Rob Brown. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the poll, find out what people said. Ask us anything. I see the stream has been lively tonight. Can't wait to get into those. And then our play of the day, paying homage to number 93. Let's take a break, everybody. Right back.
The new McVeggie. at McDonald's.
Would ya? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? Maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The Oilers win 5-0. Headline tonight, the Oilers have only allowed 6 goals in their last 5 games. Not all wins, but it's important to note the number of goals against. And Nugent-Hopkins plays his 1,000th NHL game, all with the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get to Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria, powered by Dominion Lending Center's Maximal Mortgages. Rates are falling, the market's heating up, and that means opportunity. Maria Gallus has the lender connections and the strategy to get you more options than the bank ever will. Don't settle for average. Check out mortgagesbymaria.ca. You want to wrap up the poll before we head and wade into these questions tonight on a real hot stream?
I do. I'm gonna try to get myself in here too. Oh, that's not me. This'll be me here. Hello. Okay. Our poll question tonight was, what's the best Kevin Costner sports movie? Struddy, did you didn't vote? I don't think, did you? Do you want to weigh in?
I voted. Yeah, Field of Dreams. I slipped that one in there.
Okay.
And they're all good. They're all good though. Like, don't judge me, but that was my favorite.
And I would have said Bull Durham. And I'm a little bit surprised based on the chat. And this is an instance where kind of the chat didn't match the vote. So because Field of Dreams was getting run down a little bit in the chat, it was being called a fantasy movie, not even a baseball movie. Anyway, It won. Field of Dreams won 50% of the vote. So I was a little bit surprised to see that based on the chat. 19% went with Bull Durham, 17% for Tin Cup, and the chat was very heavy Draft Day, and Draft Day came in fourth, 14%. All good choices. That's where I'm with Brownie that it's Bull Durham, but I'm not with Brownie that it's not even close. Those are, again, this guy's resume for sports movies is, I don't know. Tell me another actor who's got this kind of resume for sports movies. I don't think it exists. All right. And over 200 votes on a very lively stream. Over 600 folks still with us here on YouTube.
Awesome.
So thanks everybody for being here. Okay, let's go right back into this. Ro Nelson says 2 career NHL playoff wins combined for Jari Ingram in 12 games. For that reason alone, you keep 8-2 playoff hero Pickard. What do you think, Struddy? Can you barring an injury, can you run this situation with 3 goalies in some way all the way until playoff time to hold on to Pickard because of that? Would you do it? Do you think they'll do it?
Well, I think they need to have 3 goalies. I think there'd be concern about losing Pickard, I guess in this case, on waivers. And I think someone would take him. He's cheap and he's had good success in the playoffs. The exact reason the Oilers want to keep him. Now, I understand the hesitancy about Jari and Ingram and their playoff resume, but I wonder how those goalies' stats would look differently if 1 or 2 of them had been with the Oilers the last number of years. And that's not to put down what Stuart Skinner did. He had some really good moments for the Oilers and good stretches. But the team in front of you does affect your playoff success. You can't just do it on your own. So I think we got to be careful when we start saying, well, they only have 2 playoff wins. Yeah, I'd be concerned about the lack of playoff experience,
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they can't have success with a good team in front of them.
ND Oiler fan on the same topic says, send picks to Bako. If he clears, he clears. Connor Unger is more than capable to back up Ingram or Jari. It's a real small sample size on Connor Unger, but he's been successful as he climbs the ladder, he's been successful at every level. Is there anything in the team's head that would say if we have to get to our 3rd guy, it's an emergency anyway, and he's now our 3rd guy, or we consider him to be our 3rd guy?
But this team has a mandate to win Stanley Cups.
Right.
So why would you want to risk it? Why would you want to risk it? I just don't understand why it'd be casual to throw a guy down. Well, if we lose him, we lose him. Well, what if he's a really important piece? Or let's say you lose 2 goalies. You put him on waivers and the other goalie gets hurt, and now he's your direct backup. and then the other guy stops playing well. I like depth. I like knowing that I have lots of layers around me to support me if there's a problem, if I'm this coach or GM. The problem is 3 goalies doesn't work. And don't let anyone tell you it does. It doesn't work. It does not. It will not work. But I think the Oilers are in a pickle here, and they have to do it because of how well Connor Ingram is and has been playing.
It's nice to at least, if something's going to force your hand, it's not the flip side. It's not, nobody can stop a puck. We got to figure something out.
Yeah.
We got guys playing well. Connor Ingram forced them into this situation with the way he's playing. Here's an interesting question that we can revisit. I'll allow it on a night when the Oilers actually play the Blues. No, I'm kidding. But TV camera guy says, who would you rather have today, Vasily Podkolzin or Dylan Holloway? And there, of course, that wasn't a trade, but the moves are connected. Who would you rather have right now today, Struddy?
Well, Dylan Holloway. I mean, I think, he's not having a great year. I think he has 8 goals. I want to say, I think I looked it up earlier today. I might be wrong. He's missed a bit of time because of injury. But I mean, I love Dylan Holloway. I think he's a good player. I'd love to have both of them. If you want to know the truth, imagine this team if they had both those guys on this team right now and what that would look like down the left side. So yes. And if they had both of them, that'd be Nuge would be your third line center, by the way. But I don't want to bring that up right now. But I still listen. I really like Podkolzin, but the speed, I think, higher end ability to finish and score is with Holloway, and Holloway's done it. Now he's not doing it this year, and quite frankly, his team is not doing. Jordan Kyrou, I had to double check what number he was. He is not there right now, and Robert Thomas isn't playing, so they're missing some guys. But I would take Holloway. But I'm happy they got Podkolzin for a 4th rounder. That's a pretty good trade, especially off a division rival.
And McDoust pointing out Bowman extending Podkolzin when he did looks pretty good now as
for sure.
Well. And I think that's a good point.
Well said.
Yeah. Some discussion about the other goal that wasn't the goal that would have made it 2 straight six donuts. Mars Boy saying Freddie was robbed. Imagine a game where Mangiapane and Freddie both scored. There's people asking about that goal for the disallowed goal tonight. Why was that not a penalty? Okay, well, I didn't actually mean to go this way. Why was that not a penalty shot? Can we just talk about, to me, if the call was the intent, I know there's the intent to blow the whistle, so that's why it doesn't count. When you watch the real time and you know where the puck is, where he scoops it out from, it was a good full set, and he's looking, and to me, the intent had not begun yet. What did you think about that one? I was surprised they were so definitive on that for that reason.
Yes, I agree. And that was a crazy sequence. Like, how did not one of those shots go in?
Yeah.
And maybe it did, because it looked to me like the puck did squeeze behind there. But you would have thought someone would have hit the back of the net with one of their shots. It was crazy. And like Bennington was facing the wrong way. Like it was a real messy sequence. I guess could Knobloch have challenged? Yes. But his team's winning. I guess you always want to protect your players and try to help them out, get their points. But I would have loved to have seen both those guys scores for sure. What I'm noticing about Frederick is that he seems to be smiling more when we watch him play.
Yeah.
Now, the team just punished a team 11-0 the last 2 nights. So that does help. Your smiles will be more frequent than when you're losing. But it looks like he's smiling more out there. So, I'm looking for anything from this guy if I'm the coaching staff to try to see an indication he's going in the right direction.
All right. Neil Garrity wants to know, as all Oilers fans want to hope this is possible, is there a chance that Mangiapane turns it around and stays with the Oilers, or should they trade him whether he starts getting better or not?
Yeah, I mean, is the damage done, Neil? Is that what you're saying? Like, is it that this you can't repair this relationship? Well, he started by scoring tonight. That repairs a lot of relationships for both the player and the team when you start scoring. Can he? Is he a solution in there now? Has someone moved in front of him? Like I think Roslovic has. I think that's clear. I think Isaac Howard's up there, Savoy. They're all on that line. No, that's not a third line in the playoffs, but I still think that the most likely outcome is that he gets moved. I do. I think once you kind of go down this road of we're going to look at exploring for a trade, I'm not sure you really go back too often and rekindle that relationship. So I still think he's most likely, if possible, and his desire is to be traded. It'll happen.
But certainly better play helps that along as well. I would imagine.
Well, it gets people's eye. I could get an agent right now for hockey. I could call someone and say, we'd be my agent. But if I'm not playing and not playing well, nobody will care, right? It doesn't matter how great your agent is. You have to deliver and show that, hey, man, I think on our team we'd be better. And tonight was a good first step in that direction for him. And, Leon's going to be out for whatever amount of time here. I think it said till next weekend or through whatever. That's like a handful of games where he's going to get more ice time and more opportunity.
All right, this is a really good question. Just came in on the fly from Tiggersaurus. Okay. He says you talked about the role players feeling better and playing better because they're absorbing the extra minutes. How do you do this going forward when Draisaitl returns so that you have depth? Or do you think there's anything in the coach's mind seeing this that there's not, obviously, where Leon's going to fit in, but is there something about ice time and responsibility for other players that you say, look at how they're playing, given more time, more opportunity?
Brownie says it the best. How do you play a game where you have 29 to 97 more often on the bench than on the ice? Like, it's really hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's like if you're going to get into a street fight and it's me and it's my buddy's 5'5", and there's a big guy who's like 6'5" that wants to fight. You're like, you know what, Struddy, you stay here. I got this one. And you strut in there at 5'5". Like, no, it's okay, Struddy, just sit there and drink your Slurpee. Don't worry about it. Like, you're going to want to get me in there. Not that I can beat the guy up, but at least I got a fighting chance. So it's that way with those two guys. How do you leave them on the bench? But I think you need to. You need to get other people involved. That is why I don't want Connor killing penalties, even though, as Brownie says, he's a really good penalty killer. I want other people involved in those so they get minutes. It's even starting a game sometime with your third or fourth line. Give someone else the chance. Get them going and resist the urge, the temptation to drop those guys out. And I get it. I would put them on the ice too. But your team functions at a higher level as a team when everyone's getting a chance to take a kick at the can.
Okay, a couple quick ones here, and we'll get you out of here as we started late. But A. Cherniavsky, this is an interesting. I feel like you'll have a very strong opinion about this. Says, thoughts on a rule change where a delay of game penalty could be assist if a player jams the puck along the boards with his skate for too long. It slows the game down and can go on too long. I certainly agree with that last line. And I'm also amazed at how players are, it is a skill, how players are able to do it with three guys strong guys jamming in there with sticks. Yeah. What do you think of this? Should this be considered as a rule change? I imagine you use this strategy from time to time in your career.
Oh, used it. I think I invented it. Squeezing the puck like a zit against the wall to make that thing blow. You gotta have some gamesmanship in there. What's next? You're not allowed to take the puck off of players that have 10 or more goals. Like, I think it's important to have that type. It's a battle. It's a scrum. And that's what it's all about. It's about competing. Can you win that one-on-one battle by holding it there and or battle to get it off? I'm fully supportive of this. And that's a way you can stop the other team from scoring goals when you're protecting the lead. Like, you don't really see it that often when you're, in the course of a game. But at the end of the game, you squeeze that thing against there so hard. I love it.
Okay. Couple of fun ones to wrap it up here. Picket Fence said, we've maybe gone here before, but I always love to hear you say this stuff. So Picket Fence says, Ingram mentioned post-game that Edmonton has the nicest arena in the league. What are the best and worst NHL rinks you've ever been to?
Yeah, the worst ones. The old one, Calgary Flames, it's not good. And I'm not even saying that because I'm from Edmonton. That is not a shot at that place. It's just not good. It's not like the dressing rooms are not good compared to other standards. And the best one, Madison Square Garden is unbelievable. I love it there. And I love playing at Rexall. I loved it there. I remember my first game. I was so happy to be there, just because Wayne Gretzky had skated there, Mark Messier, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say the Flames one, and it's been bad for a long time. And that's not, again, it's not me picking on Calgary. I'd say the same thing if that dump was in anywhere, even Madison Square Garden. I'd say it was bad. So yeah, that's where it's at, and they deserve a new one.
I can't believe they never put the top on the hat after all that thing. They've used it for so long, and they still never bothered to put the top on the hat. Okay, incredible. A quick one on the poll question: Doubling down from Blommer, what's the best non-sports Kevin Costner movie? He offers Waterworld, Untouchables, JFK, 13 Days, or Other. I've got a little bit off the board for this one. You want to go first?
Yeah, no, I love Kevin Costner. I think he's a great. The Postman, I don't think was all that bad either. But I'll go The Untouchables. I thought that was a fantastic movie. Yeah, I love that show.
And I love JFK. I have to say, I love JFK.
Okay.
I was kind of obsessed with it for a while. But there's a little bit off the board is Kevin Costner made a movie called Open Range. It's not really widely
I've
known,
seen it.
and it's awesome. And I actually feel like it's Unforgiven, but better. It's kind of a similar story, and people love Unforgiven. And I just feel like it feels it feels real. It feels like the details and the story and I don't know. I love that movie. So if you liked Unforgiven and you haven't seen Open Range, go see Open Range because that's an excellent
classic.
And last one here, and this will be on the theme of the whole show before we get to the play of the day. Quaddy says, ask us anything. Do the Oilers retire Nuge 93 when it's all said and done? And if so, how fast?
Well, definitely the Ring of Honor at the very least. Everyone who's up in the rafters is in the Hall of Fame. Is Nugent-Hopkins a Hall of Fame member? I think it's a challenge for him. I think you have to be a player who is one of the best in the league for a decent stretch of time, and I don't know that Nuge has reached that level. He's been an amazing player for a long time. I don't know that gets him in the Hall of Fame. So if they follow that, where you have to be a Hall of Famer to be up there, it'll be 29, 97 there, and then probably 93 in the Wall of Honor.
But how long do they wait to, like Nuge could be one of those kind of fringe guys, Hall of Fame, that gets talked about, I don't know what the window is for player. I know it's 3 years before you can go in, but I don't know how long your eligibility runs for. That'll be an interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not advocating for him not to be in the Hall of Fame, but that's a pretty hard place to get into. I don't think he's ever had 50 goals. He never left the league in scoring. I don't know that he has any individual awards. So what do you longevity? I think that counts. It counts for sure. And again, I feel like I'm, kicking him, and that's not my point here. I'm just trying to lay it out.
Yeah.
And I'd say the same about Ryan Smith. I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer, and he was an amazing Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah.
So, they're the next step down, but that's a pretty awesome step to be on, because there's a lot of us way further down who's fallen. We got kicked right off the stair. We're not even anywhere close to the stairs. Okay, that was great. Thanks for all those questions. Let's get to the play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day. Complete with backflow protection. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. Got to give it up to these. I believe it's the jersey. You have the picture here, Zuby, of not jersey, the t-shirts.
Oh shoot! Nope, I don't. I have the patch and I have the jerseys.
Okay, jerseys or patch. I'll take anything. I can explain the rest. We have there's a cool shirt they made with multiple heads of Nuge all over. The guys wore him to the game. Nugent-Hopkins, 1,000 NHL games as an Oiler. That's so special. And that's such a cool. I wonder if all the guys would have got one of those jerseys and he'd sign it. That'd be pretty neat to have. And really cool in warm up. They all acted like him and stretched like him. And I think he puts baby powder on his stick. So really, really cool to see that. And what's the other one you have? You have the, there it is. Yeah.
You know what? I have him. Let's see. I do actually have him standing with all the guys wearing theirs.
Yeah, there's the shirts. Yeah, pretty cool shirt. So, yeah, very cool. And those would have been made up by Harry, the equipment manager of the Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah, really cool night. Everyone would be wanting to celebrate this guy, and he didn't know. It was all a surprise to him, and he was looking forward to it, though. Trust me, I got to 674 NHL games. Now, I sat out some. And I was hurt for some, so maybe I was closer. Like if I would have played every one of them, closer to 900, 950. But getting 1,000 games is really, really special. Not that playing one game isn't, but 1,000 is really something, Zuby. So congratulations, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Many more to come. I think he's got 4 or 5 more years on his deal. So, that's going to get him up there a little bit higher as well. Maybe another 3, 4, 500 somewhere in there. So good luck, Nuge.
That would be pretty, man. I don't even know. I can't. How old is he now? Is he 30, 32? I guess
32.
I guess 2000's out of the question, but yeah, I'd love to see that number just keep climbing. He's a great Oiler, a great ambassador, and a great contributor. And I keep going back to so many times. He's a guy who, in his 3rd contract, right? He had the entry-level deal and then a 6-year deal, and then in his next 6-year deal, took a haircut as a productive,
crazy
NHL player, and not even the same, less than. Like, that's crazy. Nobody does that. Nobody.
He seems happy. 3 more years at 5'2", something like that.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Sunday night, so we'll have a post-game pod Tuesday. I believe it's the Devils in town. Shug will be back, Brownie, myself, and Zoobs. Thanks for tuning in. Any final thoughts before we send this into the stratosphere?
Nope. Just got to try to get some gremlins worked out here and, for the next show and not have everybody on the phone.
We'll do that. Everyone, take care. Tell a friend. Give us a thumbs up on the way out and subscribe. We'll talk to you Tuesday. Talk to you then.